Do let me know if you're watching and if you're here. This is all new to me. Yeah, YouTube Live, never done it before. Massive delay. We'll see. Do let me know if you're watching and if you're here. Although I've realised that I have comments are turned off. I'm just going to hopefully change the commenting settings. So I am just, hi, I can see somebody's watching. I've realised that commenting is turned off, which I'm just trying to sort out because that will help me, because then you can interact with me and I can interact with you. But without comments being on, we can't do any of that, which is a bit weird. So just bear with me whilst I sort that out. Here we go. Hopefully I can get on here. This YouTube malarkey is all new to me. All new. Still can't work out how to switch the comments on. How do I switch the comments on? Select the settings to disable comments. How can I turn them back on? Here we go. Hopefully I'll be able to switch them back on. Hi, I can see 4 of you are watching. If you don't know, I'm just trying to turn the comments back on because that's going to really help me and you interact with me. However, doesn't seem to be easy to do. Oh, okay. Right. So I might need to just change a setting on this video. Hi, so I've got 5 of you watching, which is great. And I'm just changing these settings, which hopefully should now mean excellent. Yay! I've switched them all back on. So, if I can now say hello to you, hopefully, in the live chat. Yes, got it switched on. So, if you're with me, it would be great for you to tell me that you're here. So you should be able to just comment in the comments below. Spot on. Do let me know that I've managed to sort that out. So if you are watching and you just want to comment on the video, that lets me know that you're watching and it's working. So that would be amazing if somebody could do that for me. All right, so 8 of you now watching. This is amazing. So 1 minute past. I'll give it a couple of minutes and then we'll make a start. So I've set myself up in here. This is my bedroom, or our bedroom. So a bit of a change of scenery in comparison to sitting in the kitchen. It seemed to be a lot easier to do than trying to haul my mirror downstairs and all my other bits and pieces too. I'm also keeping an eye on Facebook at the moment. Sam's saying that she's watching on Facebook. Well, she's posted on Facebook. That's also fine. If you're struggling to post on YouTube, that's another place that you could actually just ask me questions. Actually, is in any of the 3 Facebook groups about the vintage hairstyling. So this is all completely new. So I thought that what better way to help me through this next, however long it takes me, is my little bowl of wine. So anyway, if you want to join me, if not, don't worry about it. So I was going to do some simple vintage hairstyles. I'm not suggesting that I am, or in any shape at all, an expert at this. But I have been practicing for years, and I always get comments that my hair looks good, which is nice when people do that. I think it's lovely. So I thought I would just at least impart some of my pitfalls, I guess, and hints at how to do some easy vintage hairstyles and quickly. Most of the hairstyles that you see me wearing don't usually take me any longer than, I would say, 15 minutes, 20 minutes at most, usually 10 minutes if I can get away with it. So if I can get away with doing something in 10 minutes. Hi, Lizzie's with us. Oh, I like your name, Lizzie Knits and Stitches. I'll have to look at your channel if you've got anything there. I have nothing on my channel. Mainly because I use a lot of it to do hidden videos for my students rather than this kind of stuff. So this is all new. So what do I have? If I go to a vintage event or a swing event, because the hairstyling that I would do for a swing dance event is often very different to what I would do for a 1940s event. Also, just to make you aware, there's quite a bit of a delay between me speaking and messages and what I'm seeing on YouTube. So if I don't respond quickly to your message, then it's not because I'm ignoring you. It's just probably because there's such a delay I haven't seen it yet. Right, so what do I have in my little vintage bag for my hair? So I have these. Hair slides. These ones are clear ones. I used to have some brown ones as well. They're pretty handy to have in my bag. I will have one of these types of combs with the spiky bit. So that's really helpful. I also have one of these brushes as well. I don't know what these brushes are called. See, that's how professional I am. Don't know what they're called. Anyway, one of those types of brushes. I will have one of these. Now, I don't know if anyone has ever come across these before or remembers them. Do comment if you do remember what these are for. I'll come back to that in a minute. What else do we have? I have one of these, which I've cut up into various different sizes. I've got lots of bits of these. If you go to Boots, and they've got those don't like ponytail bun rings. Have you seen them? They're a ring with a hole in the middle, and you're meant to put your ponytail through it and then pin the hair around it. So those are, just seeing Hillary's commented somewhere. I think she has. Oh, Hillary is saying that they are still off. Just refresh it, maybe. I'll just comment here. Because Lizzie has definitely commented, so the comments are definitely back on, which is good. So they're quite useful, and I've basically cut it up, and you can use these to make what are called hair rats. Other things I have I have shed loads of these Kirby grips. Lee always wonders if I've ever got any left, because he is finding them around the house all over the place. I have a few scarves as well, so these are really handy. So maybe at some point I'll show you some easy styles you can do with those. The other thing, this was a bit of a revelation to me. It was bought for me by my ex-husband. Actually, no, it was given to me by my ex-husband's mother. So my ex-mother-in-law, and it is a Babyliss set of curling tongs. There you go. But what I really like about these is that they are gas powered. So they come with a little gas canister. There you go. And excellent for sticking in your bag, and it doesn't have a cable in it. You don't have to worry about trying to plug it in and then reach the mirror at the same time and all that kind of stuff. So I love this, and I had my last one lasted for I think a good 8 years. Yeah, probably about 8 years, and then I was very sad. Had to buy a new one, and it comes with a little comb. I've never used that. Maybe I should give it a go, but never used it. So there you go. I've got that. Other things that I have these little pin curl clips. I don't know if you've ever come across these before. These are handy. They're good for just clipping something back and waiting for it to set with a hairspray. What else do I have in my hair kit? I also have, my hair doesn't hold a curl very well, and I've started using sponge rollers. There we go. So I normally, if I am going to go for a curl, I will use sponge rollers and sleep in them overnight, and hopefully don't end up with a kinky head. End up with kinks. Excellent, we've got 11 of you watching. Let me know who's watching. It doesn't tell me. Like I said, just say hello into the comments, or on one of the many Facebook groups that this is in. So hairstyling. So one of my biggest pieces of advice would be, don't wash your hair, blow dry it, and then try and do a style with it immediately. It just doesn't stick. Hi, Lynn! I am loving Lynn's. I don't know if anybody else is friends with Lynn on Facebook. Lynn has a couple of friends that she's been taking everywhere and taking photographs of. Keep doing it, Lynn. It really brings a smile to my face every time I see them. It's like, oh, you're so creative with them. I'm not. Well, not in that way. Right, what was I saying? Oh yeah, so so for tonight, last time I washed my hair was yesterday afternoon, so it's got a little bit of a grease to it. And actually, I try not to wash my hair very often at all during the week. I probably wash it about twice, sometimes even once. And I try not to handle it very much either, which I find is what makes it greasy. So you're all going to have different hair types to me, but that's what I tend to do. And I will just very loosely put it up in a ponytail, which is why you probably see me looking a bit more of a mess during the day if you've seen me on Zoom and all that kind of stuff. For that, so yeah, dirty hair. Right, so what shall we do? So something easy, so something that I do quite a lot is I tend to put a small curl in it. So I'm going to use one of these, which is a bit of a sectioning comb. So all I'm going to do, I'm going to get a bit closer, is, so my hair is cut. Yours might have a fringe. I used to have a fringe, but you'll see that my hair is cut to be slightly shorter at the front. And then actually the back, I do this. This is nothing to do with the easy hairstyles, but it gives you something to think about. I don't know if you can see, but it comes down to a point. So I asked my hairdresser to do that because what I found is when I curl my hair, if it was all one length, I end up with my curls all looking like all one length all around my head. So by having it slightly curved at the back like this, it means that I end up with nice curls that come, they're slightly longer at the back and then coming higher at the front, rather than all being at one level round there. So this is what I'm going to do. So this is one of my sort of go-to hairstyles that I'll do. And all I'm going to do is, you can see I've got a little bit of a diagonal bit here. And I'm going to do the same on the other side. So this is about kind of like at my eye levels. And just going to comb it forward so you can see how much I've taken. So at the moment I haven't really got much of a, it's not very straight, so I'm just going to take a bit extra on there. So this is one of the things I do a lot, because it's nice and easy and doesn't take me very long to do it. Now, what is going to help is at the moment I have no curl in the bottom of my hair here at all. So eventually what I want to do is basically that. Alright, that's all I'm going to do. It's either going to be flat on my head if I'm not feeling very adventurous. I can have it slightly over like this. I'll tidy it up later, or I can have it standing up more. But I've got no curl in the end of here at all. So what's going to help me get that curl is my curling tongs. So I'm going to put a bit of a curl into the end of there. Okay, oh, we've got some more comments on Facebook, so I'm just going to have a look on there. We've got Kerry. Kerry says she lost me. Oh, don't know what's going on there. Hopefully everybody else can see me. Just see what the other comments are here. Takes me a while. Oh, Joanne can't. Not a good day. Sorry, maybe another time. From there. Right. So I'm just going to see if these aren't hot enough yet. So I'm just going to wait for those. Might as well have a bit of a drink. Are they hot enough? These actually also heat up quite quickly too, which is why I like them, which is good. Right, so here we go. Did anybody work out what that was yet? Answers on a postcard or in the comments? Right, so all I'm going to do is take that piece of hair that I've got, that I've already sectioned. Mine tends to section quite quickly. So how big your section is going to be is going to depend on how thick your hair is. I haven't got particularly thick hair, but equally it's not particularly thin. So if I had really thin hair, I would make this section a little bit bigger. So I'd probably go further back on my head. Equally, if it was a bit thicker, then I might not take as much into that section. So all I'm going to do is just put on, Lizzie can still see me, thank you. I think it just must be her internet connection. That's going to be too much, so I'm going to do this in 2 halves. Here we go. Thankfully my hair is now not as long as it used to be, which I'm at arm's length, so that's good. So I'm just going to put a short curl into the bottom, just to give the bottom a curl so that it will stay where I want it to be. Doesn't need to be much. There we go. I think I've missed a bit. On there. Yeah, missed that bit. Look, I'm not one of these. I'm not a pretty hairdresser. I just, yeah, it happens as it happens. There we go. And just do the other section as well. I might actually split this into 2, considering what happened with the other sections. There you go. Hold it for a few minutes. Do you use any styling products beforehand? Good question. No, I don't actually. I know that lots of other people do. I don't put mousse on beforehand or anything like that. I don't put. If you put hairspray on your hair before you do your tonging, you can. There's a danger that you singe the end of your hair. So it's best not to. So yeah, I don't tend to put anything on beforehand. So now you can see I've got a bit of a loose curl in the end. So all that's going to do is just help me later on tuck that all away. Alright, so back to just this bit here. All I'm going to do, I'm going to show you 2 or 3 things that I would do next. So if I wanted this to just sit flat on my head, I think I've missed a bit there, look. Then I'm not going to do any back combing at all. I'm not really a big fan of back combing. I don't really do much of it, to be honest. Some people do, but I don't. It's Kirsty. Hi, Kirsty. Good to see you. Haven't seen you for ages. Just switch this off before I use up all my gas. So if I want this to just be flat on my head, that's it, I'm done. There we go, now they're off. I'm just going to brush the curl through at the end. Bring it all together. I might just put a little bit of hairspray on it, just to bring the flyaway ends together. You can see how it's just come together itself. I'm going to just take 2 fingers and then just wrap it round like that. At this point, what I tend to do, you just look, is I'll lift this bit and then tuck the curl behind. You can see I'm actually tucking it behind, so that means that when you then put it on your head, it's actually tucked away. So if you didn't do that, you end up with the curl on front. Can you see that? So I was just doing that again. 2 fingers, wrap it round, and then just flip it underneath. There we go. And then there it is. So this is a very flat curl because I've not put any back combing in it or anything like that. So at this point, I can then just put a couple of curvy grips in. So the way to use these well is to cross them. So you can see my first one went here. So this one I'm going to aim to cross over the other one somewhere. I'm a bit of a stickler for these. I like them to be hidden. I don't really like having them seen. So you can see at the moment, you can see them. So I'm just going to lift that bit out. And there you go. So that's quite a simple one. And then I'll just give it lots more hairspray again. So that produces a curl that's very flat to the head. I'll talk about what you can then do with the rest of your hair in a minute. Okay, so I'll often do that. So if I want to make this a little bit higher up on my head, actually that's something. So this one I curled in front. Yeah. So you don't have to curl in front. What you could do, so I sometimes also do this, is curl behind. So this time I'm taking my 2 fingers here, and notice the angle that I'm doing with my hair too. And this time I'm going to curl behind. So what this will do is just have a little curl sitting up here, and then if I pin this on in place, we'll see what effect that has. Yeah, I'll probably put another one in. But this time what's happened is we've got a wave that goes up and down and then round the back. So you get a slightly different profile on your fringe. So that's quite a nice one. That's quite another one that I do quite a lot, especially if I've got my hair up. And also something you can do, so this would annoy me, so you can see how the curl is sitting slightly higher up in the front. So if that was happening, bit of hairspray, using one of these clips, I'm just going to clip it down and wait for it to set. You could use the cold setting on your hairdryer if you wanted to. This is quite a good one to do if you've got shorter hair. So if you haven't got as much hair to make like a big quiff, so you could get a little curl in. And then if you've got even like really short hair, you could put 2 curls in. So I would put one here and then take a little bit more hair, and then I would do another curl next to it. So that looks quite pretty when you've got 2 together, and you can do the same thing. like that. So again, I'd put a Kirby grip in, shed loads of hairspray on it, and then use one of these to allow it to set. So this is quite a nice. I'm going to put Kirby grip in it now, actually. Well, not Kirby grip. These are pin curl clips, just so you can see it. So I'm not pinning it in. So this is quite a nice one. Doing two. I quite like this because it's not those big. People normally struggle with the Victory rolls, which is a bit more of an advanced technique. When you're doing that's what the classic sort of vintage look. Whereas doing this is relatively easy to do. Remember, the trick is to get a curl in the end of your hair, and then you could also do another one on the other side. So if I want you to do another one, do the same thing or similar on the other side. So again, 2 fingers, wrapping it round. This isn't going to sit well because I've not done the ends. There you go. So then we've got another curl on that side, kind of just above my ear and just above where I put a parting on the side. Duckbill clips. Is that what they're called? I've always seen them being called pin curl clips, but so I've learned something new too. Thank you very much. So that's quite an easy one, I think, and I think of all the ones, I'll show you how I do my Victory rolls. It's a bit more advanced, maybe another time rather than this. So what do you think? Do you think that's something that you could do? If you can't get a curl in this side, the other thing is to fall back on these. So you don't need to get a curl in. You could just use your slides just to get that bit of hair out of the way. And there you go. So that's also a nice thing to do, is just use one of these slides. So you could get this side looking nice with 1 or 2 pin curls, and then just put a slide in the other side just to tidy it up. So I would say that is my easiest vintage hairstyle, or vintage-ish hairstyle. So that's good. Oh, thank you, Lizzie. So give it a go, and let me know what you think. So I'll give you just another easy one. So I said that this is where this is flat, so I've not given it any volume. So if I give this a little bit of back comb, I'm not a big fan of back combing, but this does help. So I don't tend to do a lot. That's it. And once I've back combed, a little bit of hairspray in there. And then we're going to go for a curl. So you will have seen me doing this a lot. It's one of my go-to ones, 2 fingers around. So I'm going to go backwards with my roll. I'll show you what happens when you go forward actually. So this is where you need to be a bit careful. So I'm going to show you what happens. So the moment here, I'm straight up. Oh, Kerry said hello. See what Kerry said. I'm back. Oh, good. I'm glad I'm all sorted for you. So if I go straight up in the air, when I bring this down, oops, round the back, then we're going to end up with this. So you can see what's happened is it's very flat on this side and like very round on this side. So we want more on this side. So actually by going out to the side again a little bit more, the ends are getting a bit messy, so I'm just going to put a bit more hairspray on. If I go out to the side, and the same thing as I did before, tucking it behind, then I'm going to end up with more. So you can see how it's now standing up a little bit more on this side. I've got more hair. It's not behaving as it normally would do today. Typical. I'm just going to put in a little bit, especially on this side. There we go. Oh no, look, I went straight up. Look, I ignored my own advice then. Did you see that? There we go. So now we've got one that's a little bit more standing up than it was before. So again, curvy grips through the front. And then I'm going to take another one. So I actually only ever used 2. And I've let that one be seen a little bit too much. Now the back, if you can see through, let me see if I can do this. So if I might be able to see through, so at the back you want to try and collapse it down so that you can't see through your little roll. So I'm then going to do the same from the back. I'm trying to cross the other curvy grip so that it stays in place. And then what I can do, my hair's all a little bit flyaway today, is just play with this bit. Make sure it stands up a little bit more. There we go. I don't want those pins showing. So I use this quite a lot. You'll see me doing it quite a lot. And I'll do stuff like, I'll just then put my hair up in a ponytail, a bit more 50s really than 40s. From there, we can go back to using these again and actually put one on one side. There you go. And then one on the other side. That's quite a nice easy one. Again, there we go. So all I've had to do is one roll and then just put the other 2 back on there. We can use a scarf. So if I was going to use a scarf, I tend to actually tie this back first using my scarf. Let me get this right. I always end up doing stuff the wrong way around. Here we go. Over the top. I tend to do this actually before. What I'm going to do is show you how I would do it, which is not with the roll in first. So I usually don't do it with this in it. I'll do this first. Here we go. One way again. If I'm doing this, I'll tie it and then I'll bring this bit over the top and then do my bow so that that is then tucked underneath. Don't know if you can kind of see that. So then there's my bow. Yeah, there we go. Tuck the sides in. Move it back on my head slightly. And then I can redo my roll whichever way that I want to do it. In here. I'm not going to do it quickly now because it's not playing. Here we go. Whoop. Bit wonky this one. Because I'm doing it too quickly. That's what it is. There you go. So you can do it in front like that. And again, you can do the same thing and curl it in the other direction if you wanted to. So that one was going backwards. So again, I could do it going forwards, like we did with the other one. Do that there too, and then you've got a nice easy one. If you're having a bit of a bad hair day and the rest of your hair is looking a bit rubbish, this is quite a good one because all you have to do is that, and you can hide the rest of your hair. So that one's quite handy. I quite like that one. Just because we're on a kind of a roll with what to do with the front part of the hair and not really doing much to the rest of it, I quite like also bringing it forward in a big roll. So this one's a bit more tricky to do. I'm going to bring it straight down in front of me. We'll see if it will behave. It doesn't always behave on this. And see what I'm doing here. Just rolling it. And I'm going to roll it up straight up the front. And then we get what's called a fake bang. It's not quite behaving today. It's because I've done all that other stuff to it. Let's come to this one. And I'm like, no! Don't want to play. Alright, here we go. There we go. And then I've got one finger all the way through. Another curvy bit here. One on one side. And then the other side is the side that I always mess up on. And then one for the other side. That's not right. And then right across for the other side. And then you can tease it out however you want it to be. Like that. And lots of hairspray. Lots of hairspray. Hairspray. Woman's best friend. Alright, there you go. Like that. There's your fake bangs. Again, you could put your scarf on over the top. I quite like having it at a bit of a jaunty angle. And tend to flatten this side off like this. I use one of these again just to set it on this side. And then we've got it at a jaunty angle. So I quite like doing it at the side rather than the front on there. So I really just experiment and don't be afraid. But just remember, putting that small curl in is going to really help to begin with. And not having too much or too little hair in. So the common mistake is just having either too much hair in because your hair is quite thick, or not enough hair. So just remember what I said right at the beginning. I don't know if everybody caught that. Experiment with your hair and find out what's best for you. So my hair is kind of a medium thickness, really. It's not ultra fine, but if it was ultra fine, then I would go further back in my section and include more hair in it. If my hair was super thick, then I would do the reverse. I would use less hair in it to give it a chance to not be so kind of like massively off my head because I've got too much thickness in my hair. And now I'm just messing about. There you go. So that's all I wanted to really cover today, because it was about some easy vintage hairstyles and ones you can do with a little bit of practice. It doesn't take much practice to do those, I don't think. It's just kind of working out with your arms, that kind of stuff. And what better time to practice than now, when we've got a bit less to do with our lives. So did everybody work out what this was? I've got a time delay in the comments, so I'm going to wait and see what people say. Blimey, I've talked for 40 minutes nearly. How did I do that? No. So this is a turner. So in the 80s, they were used a lot for doing this. Do you remember this hairstyle? Putting it in and turning it through. Yes? Do you remember them? So this is really useful for another hairstyle that I do with a scarf. So you might have seen the ones where people wear like a scarf or something wrapped up. I'm doing this really quickly, so apologies for this not looking quite so tidy as I normally would do. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Whoop. Oh, that's not tied right. There we go. I hate working in a mirror. If I close my eyes and do it and I'll be fine. There we go. No, that's still wrong. Anyway, I usually find it doing my bows because you lot are watching. So, if I put this on my head, I'll show you this one because this is quite a quick and easy sort of vintagey style. It's not really 1940s, but you do definitely see sort of people who are a bit more of a vintage style doing this. And this is where the hair turner comes in. So what I can do is all the way around. Take lots of little bits. So there's another one that doesn't take long to do. Well, it's stuck in the top. And I can do the same on the other side. Oops. Just keep them going. As much of your hair as you can. Till you get to the last bit. Let's look at the top again. So I've not been very careful with this because I'm doing it a bit quickly, but I can then just use hair grips just to tidy those little bits away if I wanted to. And I'll probably put a few more in as well because it's blowing away the sides. There you go. So that's quite a nice and easy one. And I can do my little roll at the front again if I wanted to as well. So that's a really nice little handy tool to have in your hair kit to have a go at through there. This is weird because you're in delay. I'm just watching myself doing that at the back. Right, so that's all I was going to do today for now. If anybody does want me to do victory rolls, I'm happy to stay on for about another 20 minutes. I said to Lee I'll be about an hour. So just shout in the comments if you'd like me to show you what I do with my victory rolls. I'm going to have to wait a little bit longer for you to give me that feedback. Equally, if you want to go now, I completely understand that too. And you can go. So this, if we do that, it would be obviously slightly more hardened of you, because victory rolls definitely takes practice. I don't think I've mastered mine yet. So either in the comments or in any of the Facebook groups, if you'd like to show me, like me to show you victory rolls, just, I don't know, say victory in the comments. Yes, please, says Lynn. That's one. Oh, Kerry says yes, please. Can I show you the scarf? Lizzie says yes. All right then, I've been pressured. So this is just, Kerry asked me about the scarf. This is the scarf that I use. When I'm doing it around the back of my head, I don't go for a full half like this. What I tend to do is actually fold it about there. Can you see that? So then that goes around the back of my head. Means that I've then got enough with this point. Really, I want this point to be about where my nose is. if I'm really struggling, I hold it in my teeth. I'm not going to do that today because I've got lipstick on, and then I can tie it over my head. So that's why I do that. So this is a quite it's a relatively large scarf. I've actually, if anybody, I do have a bag of scarves. I should have thought about this. I will find it, and what I might do is leave it out the back of my house. So if anybody in Bishopton wants to borrow one, they can do. They should be coronavirus free because I've not been in the bag for at least 6 months. So there shouldn't be anything there. So maybe I can tie them to something and we can come and borrow them. What was that thing called? Good question. I think it's just a ponytail turner. I'll have a look in a minute and see, or if somebody wants to Google it quickly, they can too. Right, so victory rolls. Right, so this definitely helps if you know your hair type. So again, my hair, I've got, so because you end up doing one on one side and one on the other, this side of my head is a lot thinner than this side. So you'll see a lot of guides that go up here and they section the hair in a straight parting. Can you see that? And then they'll do one roll up here and then one roll there. If I do that, this side of my head is really thin. Can you see? I just wouldn't have any hair to do it with. So rather than using a straight section here, I section, that's probably a bit too extreme, I section there. So that gives the other side of my head, my waning side of my head, a little bit more hair to put into a roll for that. So once I've done that, I'm then going to take a line from my ear, and then up to my head. I usually find it easier doing this one around actually. It's called a Topsy hair tool. I'm sure the one I bought didn't have that name, but it is. Is it a Topsy one? It is. Topsy tail. So I'm just going to take this end. I've done this quite a few times so I can see on my hair where it's going to be. So I'm going to go from here. Oh, it's not playing. And sort of down to my ear. I tend to go downwards. A lot of people go upwards. Can't cope with that. So I've got that section here. So while I'm working with this section, I tend to put the other section back. Yep. So just like before, it's easier to do with a bit of curl in the end. So back on with the tongs. There we go. Yeah, thank you, Lizzie, for finding that out. I'll put an Amazon link in. Honestly, I love it. They do them 2 sizes. They do this one, and there's a little black one somewhere that I've got somewhere. I don't know where it is. There it is. If you don't want to use a ponytail grip, you can use sectioning clips. I always lose these or break them, so I don't end up with them. Just wasting time. Oh, it's not actually on. There we go, it's on now. So while I'm waiting for that to cool up, again, you can see how this bit of my head, it's just this bit here, and it's the same on this side, is actually quite thin. So the aim with our victory roll is that we want it, so if I was to do it flat on my head, that's what we were doing before, so that's not really a victory roll on there. So the aim is to get something that's standing up like this. Oh, it's behaving a bit well today. And actually I've managed to get quite a nice little wave in the front. So what's going to make that easier for me is having that little bit of a curl in the end. So I'm going to do the same as what I did before. It's going to be a bit too thick. Give it a little bit of curl. My hair, while I'm doing this, holds will curl really easily, but it doesn't hold it for very long. which is highly frustrating, to be honest. Really frustrating. So you can see it takes a curl well. It doesn't hold it for very long. So a lot of my hairstyles don't involve me doing curly hair. I love having like those bouncy 40s curls, but I have to put a real lot of effort in. So I have to sleep in those foam rollers, and I use setting lotion as well. And I'm not massively successful at doing them, actually. It's something I need to keep practicing at to make sure that to give it a go. Even if I use like heated rollers and all that kind of stuff, it will just drop after about 40 minutes and that's it. So it's highly frustrating. My hair is also layered, which is also why it's playing about at the moment. I'm here. Right, here we go, the last bit. No, it's not going to be the last bit, because look, there's that bit that's just fallen out. Some people can do that very snazzy thing with tongs. I can't do it. You know, where they hold it here and then they just seem to be able to do this. I can't do it. I seem to just get to a bit and then it falls out the end and then I end up with a kink. So that's something that I need to learn how to do properly, is that. So I'm not looking to get a particularly even curling, just something in the end to help it stay where I want it. So there we go, we've got a bit of a curl in it now. Right, so here we go. So I'm going to put in, I'm just going to section this again slightly, bit of back combing. So this will give it its height at the front. Some people, like I said, like a lot of back combing. I'm not a massive back comber. You might think I am. But some tutorials, obviously, they do loads of back combing. I think, Jesus, I don't need that much. Right, I think it looks a little bit more natural as well when you haven't put too much in. So one thing I do once I've done the back combing, so I do spray a bit of hairspray through it, because I find it just helps it stick. So I'm going to switch to this one. The reason for that is that this should just combs the top of the hair. You see, just smoothing the top of the hair, rather than interfering with any of the bits that I've just back combed. Okay, so I've got a nice smooth look there. Now these end bits, I can put the comb through, just so that they come together. There we go, they come together slowly. A bit more hairspray. Alright, so because I want this bit here, if I did this, I'm going to get loads of hair on this bit, and when I come around here, you can see I'm going to get loads of curvature around here, which is more what you might want, but it's not what I usually go for. So I'm going slightly higher up this time, more straight up into the air, with a slight angle, so that we can get some height at the front. Round with my two fingers again, all the way round, and then notice I'm then turning my fingers to face you. That was too far up my head. I've gone the wrong way. There we go. Work fingers, turning my fingers to face you, and then I'm going to stick them in. So for now, I can see through my hole. You see that? All the way through. So I'm going to put in the clip. These aren't playing. At the front. So it's kind of like standing up a little bit weird at the moment. I'm going to put one at the back, to the side, to lock it in place. And then I'm going to mess with it. Except this one isn't playing at all. I must have missed the bit at the back. This is what I do for going live, you see. Twisting it round. That's a bit better. There we go. That's one in. And I'm actually holding the grip down to my head so it doesn't spring open. And then this one is just going on the side to hold it down. So at the moment you see that you can see through. So then what you need to do is collapse the back to close the hole. So now you shouldn't be able to see through it. See that? That's one. There we go. Sometimes what I find is this side starts coming down. So I might just fuse that down. I might also put another bobby pin down here. So then we go for the other side. So my other side, this is the one that I hate doing. It's why I always do that side first, because it's because I have less hair on this side. So I'm going to do the same, so about the same place that I've done that roll, down towards my ear. Get the rest of my hair out of the way. There we go. And repeat. So I'm going to put my curl back in the end, and you can also fiddle with this if you put a grip in one of these in here. You can get a bit more of a wave across the front if you wanted to. Don't forget my wine. Is it just me? Or you lot too? Oh, we've still got 10 of you with us. That's amazing. Thank you very much for watching. Just waiting for these to heat up. They have. So I'm going to do exactly the same on this side, except for this side is going to be a bit more of a pain in the arse, because like I said, this is the side of my head that doesn't have as much hair on it. So if you've got nice thick hair, this isn't as much of an issue when you do it on that side. But for me, it is. So there you go. Oh. Notice what I'm doing is curling this away from my head and not towards. So I'm going away, so you can see I'm turning it away rather than the other way, which would be towards you. There you are. Again, I've got a bit of a curl in the bottom. That's not much of a curl. I'm curled. My tongues mustn't be hot enough. Oh, I've got lights on here to help with the lighting. Oh, I'm going to sneeze. Excuse me. And it's getting quite warm. Whew, getting really warm actually. I can. There we go. And again. Tell it's getting hot because my curls are dropping quite quickly. Going to be warm in this room tonight. Right, there we go. Last bit. So yeah, thank you for sticking with me. I didn't think I was going to last 50 minutes talking about hair, but I do appreciate it, which is good. So I will put this on to watch again, but it will be via a unlisted link, and I'm happy to do it again with some other styles or the same thing. If you want to watch and then ask questions also on here. I've done a couple of 1920s style hairstyles as well. There we go. I'm just going to switch this off. Right, so now exactly the same thing. Like I said, this side is always the side that does my hair in completely. So a bit more back combing going on. Here we go. Do-do-do. That looked good. Love it. Right. There we go. bit of hairspray. I'm not pretty when I'm doing this. It is literally just all over the place. I'm going to use my smoothing brush again just to bring together those flyaway hairs, and then just pull the end of the curl together. Bit of hairspray on the end so that they hold together as well. And then doing the same thing. So notice I'm kind of at about a 45-degree angle from the head, so I'm not up, I'm not down, like at sideways, I'm at 45. And I'm also not too far forward equally, so I'm not coming all the way forward. I'm about 90 degrees out from my head. Same thing again, 2 fingers around the back. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to pull the curl together, almost clamp it, and then bring it to a point. I'm leaving my finger in. I'm going to put a bobby pin in where my finger is. I can always adjust some bits on this. It looks like the back's not being very helpful. I'll have a look. And then another one in at the back so it crosses the other ones. That's important so it stays in place. Yeah, see, look, told you. This side's my annoying side. So you can see me. It doesn't all happen perfectly the first time, but it definitely helps having slightly dirty hair. There we go. Feels a little bit better. And again, as I'm trying to get all the way through. That's one grip in, keeping it where it is. Going for the second one. Question, Hilary. What's Hilary said? Everyone's commenting in different places. Thanks, Angeline. I have to try and play with your fringe of sort. Yeah, I know, but your hair, Hilary's hair is growing quite a lot. So same again, I need to collapse the back of this. So I'm going to just tease the hair down. You see, I'm not, my victory rolls aren't amazing, especially when my hair does want to play. And then that's it. We're done. We're done. So there are a few others that I do where I change the front, so I'll do a different roll with the front. And one that I'm practicing at the moment is where you have one here and then one here, and then it's a whole roll all the way down the back. Haven't perfected that yet. I need to practice that a little bit more. So that is my victory rolls. Not too bad, I don't think. A few flyaway hairs on it on there. But anyway, thank you very much for joining me. I'm going to leave it there, I think, for today. I could go on for ages. I could go on for hours, but no, I really do appreciate you coming and watching. Like I said right at the start, I'm not a professional at this at all. So hopefully you picked up just a few tips and things that you could maybe do yourself at home. Like I said, those little pin curls are probably the easiest vintage hairstyle, and it's definitely my go-to to do if I'm in a bit of a rush. Victory rolls take, especially depends on if my hair is going to play correctly with me as to whether or not I do do victory rolls. But they seem to have been relatively tameable tonight, so that's good. So thank you very much, everybody. I'm going to leave it at that. I'm going to finish off my wine because I've been talking too much. I haven't drunk it all yet. That's only a glassful, not a lot at all. There, Lizzie, I think I'll have to grow my fringe. Yeah, I used to have a fringe. It used to be down to here, and I adapted. So if you want alternatives, if you've got a fringe, what you could do is, I'll tell you this quickly. If you've got a fringe, because that is a very good question. So you could section, so you can see I've sectioned here for this bit. For this roll on this side, I would do the same. Section diagonally. Oops, it's all going a bit Pete Tong. Yeah. Definitely going all a bit Pete Tong. There you go. Roughly, that'll do roughly. I'd do a victory roll with this side. Right, I'm not. Well, it's behaving too easily at the moment. This is not tidy. This is just for Lizzie. Not tidy. And then I've got my section for my fringe. I've got two. I haven't got enough of my section. So my fringe section is basically, no, that's better, above my eyes. And so you might end up with some long hairs that are kind of in with your fringe, which is fine because that will help. You could do one of the little rolls forward if your fringe will take it, like that. Tidy your fringe away and then have the other roll there. If your fringe is long enough, with those extra little bits, you might just be able to get a little roll in the front there. I'd probably do it the other way actually, because then it's the same direction as your victory roll on the other side. So you've got your big victory roll and a little one. So that's what you could do with your fringe, Lizzie, just to tidy it in, because I used to have a fringe. It was straight across, it was about here. And I could just about do those types of things with it if I was careful. So anyway, thank you very much. I'd love to see your pictures of your attempts. So post them in some of the Facebook groups if you want to. Yeah, let me see what you like on Friday. I'm really excited for Friday. And yes, thank you, Kerry, for your nice words. And see you around on Friday too. I'm going to take this out now, out my hair, let my hair free. So if you are wanting to get your hair nice and practice for some styles on Friday, wash your hair today or tomorrow morning, and then don't wash it, and then do it with till Friday. Or one other tip, I can keep going for ages. If you have left it for too long and you feel it's a little bit too greasy, the dry shampoo can be quite good rather than washing it, because the dry shampoo actually gives it a little bit stuff to stick to. I don't like dry shampoo, but for doing that, it's really good. Anyway, I'm going to stop talking. Thank you very much. Goodbye.